Okay. Different image. Who is who? Different characters. Who are you? Is a question that is very hard to answer. Well, I can clearly distinguish between female presences in my images and male presences. If I look at this, then, I'm kind of wiggly. I have once said to a woman that if you want me, you have to pin me down. Right? You have to really pin me down and never let go, because otherwise I'm just gonna wiggle away. I'm like water. I simply am like this to a certain degree. And I once said that I realized she could never do it. So I simply pinned myself down. But how much is what I just said actually true? Right, so to me this image is clearly expressing this woman that I feel like is staring down at me. And I'm like, what do you want from me? But is that really me? Because like the green thing is more like my neighbor with all the gossip. But who's then this, what's not a platypus? This duck thing. Who's that? Right, is that me? Is that someone else? Because I realized I have no real friends anymore. After I learned that there is a spiritual dimension, who are you, right? I cannot really say any longer. Who is who? Who are you? What are we doing here? Are there different kinds of beings? Ram Dass in a way talked about this, right? They said his so-called guru, he was like a monkey, like Hanuman. But was he really? Or was it just something, right, he liked to be doing? So what kind of a being am I? I can somehow see myself as a scorpion because I feel connected to that, but maybe that's just one form, because I have many forms. Sometimes I'm like a little child, and sometimes I'm like a monkey, sometimes I'm a bit like a panther, right? So depending on the circumstances, I change. And yeah, dragon, in a sense, dragon powers, dragon abilities, breath. A true dragon would never smoke. I don't believe for a second that Aragorn would have smoked, because it would have impacted his sense of smell. And if it impacts his sense of smell, then how could he sniff out who's true, who's trying to deceive him? How would he be able to sniff out the secret passageways he would have to travel on if he were to smoke? I don't think he would be smoking. But that's just Tolkien's expression. Right, all this smoking, it's very ignorant. Shamans usually don't really smoke because the kind of spirits you would communicate with, so Gandalf would never smoke. I truly believe this, because smoking tobacco is a very bad idea, because it attracts more like dark kind of spirits. And you can just look at the people that smoke a lot. mean, if you can see how spirit looks like, then you can see that it's very dirty. So I don't believe Gandalf would have smoked. Maybe he would have tried it, but smoking is a complete waste of time. Nobody needs to smoke. I mean, how can smoking help you think if you... Let's talk about this for a second. How could smoking help you think if it blocks your energy? If it's a bit like a poison? You know, how could smoking do anything else but be a waste of time? Because in the time you're smoking, which is non-creative, you're just creating smoke, you could be actually doing something. You could be making art, right? You could be doing other things. You could be doing crochet. You could be going hiking. Because smoking turns always into some kind of an addiction, right? So I rather breathe. I rather say, hey, you know, I'll just breathe. So what does smoking really do? Because you can never just puff anything. You'll always inhale bits of it. Yeah, I just made a choice. I said, okay, these ones I'm gonna keep for YouTube. And for Instagram, I'm just gonna post them without words. So, I mean, what does smoking really do? Well, it's nonsense. Breathe, hone your skills, keep being active. But of course, if pipe is being smoked in moderation, to a certain degree, it can probably do something, but what's the point, right? That's what I feel like I figured out for myself. What's the point? What is the point of smoking? There is no point. It's just something you started and now you think you need it. I don't need it at all. Nobody needs it. If you rely on smoking for whatever abilities you think you have, then that's just projection. You just like to see yourself as a smoker, ignoring the consequences, looking for an early death or something, thinking that you look cool or whatever, because ultimately you actually look stupid, because you could be doing it like that. And that's also a fact. You could be doing it like that. So, in a sense, I just made like a hiking staff, and I feel like, wait, why do I need that again? I mean, isn't it better to just not feel like you need something like this because it's heavy? Maybe it's for later, right? Why do I always have to use everything right away? That's also a good point. I'm not sure yet. Right, I'm probably about to leave the house. I'm gonna shoot myself into probably a hike. I don't know. I thought I would hike yesterday. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so also this red kind of character, I mean, I'm kind of like wiggling out of things. Wiggling out of certain responsibilities. But I always think that if life really wants me, it's gonna make an effort. Right? It's just if nobody's there, then, I mean, who really cares, right? If I stay here, if I go hiking, what's it matter? If I really feel like hiking, I'll go. Otherwise I'll stay. Yeah. Just make a choice and then do something. Just be active.